Hello friends, Adam here with FED. We got some more Engage footage, this time featuring Vander, who is the old guy Nightman, who you see on the screen right now, who seems to be some sort of guard for the Divine Dragon, and we'll talk about that more later, because we actually do get some confirmation on that, which is kind of cool. From not this trailer, but another one that was released alongside it. So first off, we'll just watch the trailer together, and then we'll talk about it. So let's go. All right. So it may what I love about this is it seems fairly innocuous, like not a whole lot is there, like there isn't a whole lot to glean here, but there's a ton to learn from this 15-second clip. I thought it might be a bit like excessive for me to go over this after I just went over the one from yesterday, but I couldn't help it because there's just so many exciting little things here. So let's get started. Actually, before we do, make sure to subscribe. Help us reach 25,000 subs. We've had a big jump since I've started asking for this stuff, and I really appreciate it, guys. We're going to continue to cover Fire Emblem like crazy, of course, and Fire Emblem Engage in particular. So if you're into that kind of stuff, please subscribe. It'd mean a lot. All right, now let's get started. So first things first, we do see a similar movement to what we saw with Alir in the video the other day where it's stuttery. See that? He stops right here, Vander does, and then continues to move towards his target. And I think this, again, indicates that we're going to have some free control of our units while we're moving them, rather than it being a you select the unit and then you select the space that they go to. I think that'll still be an option. I can't imagine they'll get rid of it, but worth noting. So that's another thing that we saw from yesterday. We do get to see a pretty cool animation here from his critical attack, right? Yeah, let's let me mute this really quick so I can talk. You get to see a pretty cool critical attack that causes a break, right? See the break thing that pops up right there? The break with his critical. So I was thinking, okay, maybe he has a break skill, but if we go back and look at the map, we can see his skills in the bottom right corner, right? And he doesn't have anything that looks like the break skill that Marth has, or even like momentum from Alfred and Sigurd when they attack. So I'm curious to see if it even is tied to skills at this point. Maybe there are other conditions that can be met to create breaks. And some evidence of that we can see here when Vander is highlighted. We can see that all the lance icons on the map get a little circle crossed out sign, right? So they're all crossed out. We can see it on not just the person he attacks, but also the Pegasus Knight off to the left here. It gets crossed out while he's highlighted. So that either just indicates that he has a weapon triangle advantage and makes it like easier for the player to know, I guess, or it indicates that he's gonna break them. Either way, I think that's pretty cool indication. I think it's a nice little UI touch to show that he'll have some sort of advantage here. It does seem like it's gonna be that. I would have to guess that indicates a break. We also see our first UI instance in the battle forecast of a break, where it says it actually will just say the word break along with his attack arrow there, which again is just clean. I like how this game looks in general. I think everything just looks really clean. It's communicated well to the player, and that's my biggest thing with Fire Emblem is I want information readily available, and this game seems to be doing a really good job of that. So that's really cool. So good stuff there. Moving on to some more battle stuff here. Gets the kill, right? And then we see him get some experience. And we're not, this can't be like 100% confirmed, of course, because it's such a small sample size, but this is the second time we've seen the experience total needed at 100 for a level up. So it would seem that we're going back to 100 experience per level up, which I am excited about. I want that to happen, because when it gets to like 4,000 experience for a level up, it's like how do you even really know when it's going to happen? It just level ups felt really out of my control in Three Houses, whereas here it looks like we're going back to like traditional stuff like we saw as late as Echoes, but then that's the way, but it's also the way it's been done since the very first game in the series. So cool stuff. And I think this also, like, it's kind of confirmed here too, because he's not, obviously Vander isn't a low level unit. He kind of destroys that guy, but on top of that, the text in the tweet, thanks to some nice like Google Translate or Twitter Translate, confirms that Vander is a paladin that wields an axe. And this does two things for us. We learn that he's a paladin, so he's probably like a promoted class. That's traditionally a promoted thing in Fire Emblem, right? It makes sense. So he'll be like the Jagan character. And he'll have, but that shows us that 100 experience is going to be standard. But also it says that wields an axe. So either he just prefers axes, or we're going back to a more rigid class system that has assigned weapons and stuff. And I think with the weapon icons on the map and stuff, that makes sense. I doubt it's going to be that easy to change your weapon icon in between, like in the middle of the map and something. So I'm excited about that. I like the more traditional Fire Emblem class system. Three Houses was fun for one game, but I'm happy to see that it seems to be going back to a more normal thing here. I think most of the character customization and class system customization type stuff is going to come from emblem rings. So I'm excited for that. It's going to be good. All right. A couple other map things that I want to point out before we finish here. When Vander is highlighted, we see that up in the top left corner, there are two skills that are shown. One of them is the one that is Vander's in the bottom right. We have no idea what that is. There's no way to know at this point. It looks like it's going to be probably some sort of buff to him and those around him or something, because that kind of makes sense for his character being like the old inspiring knight dude. But the other skill that we see listed here is actually one of Ilir's. It's called a Divinely Inspiring. At least that's what it's translated to in the English trailer for Engage. And it seems to like indicate that on this space you will be affected, or Vander is affected by these two skills. Almost treating it like terrain, showing us that what things are affecting which character. And I think if this game is going to go the way of Heroes and have a lot of stat buffs and skill effects that work on the map, that's going to be a big deal to show them off so plainly like that. So I'm a big fan, and hopefully it'll happen for enemies too. If you highlight an enemy and they have skills affecting them, you'll see them in the top right corner or left corner. I'm a big fan of that, and it would seem that we're going to get something like that, so that's cool. Again, the more information that's conveyed to the player easily, the better, right? Big fan of that in particular. This also makes me think that Divinely Inspiring is it might be just like Byleth's skill, where it grants extra experience to adjacent units, similar to that, or it might be a buff to some stats or something, or maybe it gives some turn long buff that gives him the ability to break someone or something. Who knows? There's a lot of different ways to go with it that we just have no real way to know yet. So yeah, I think that's about all I want to talk about here, except for, there is one more thing. I'm so sorry. If we look at the Marth icon that's by O'Lear's health bar, we'll just watch it for a second. Look closely at that. You'll see that it's like resonating. It's like glowing and like giving off a little ring of light. I would have to guess that means that Marth and O'Lear are ready to engage, like ready to do their whole merged form attacks and stuff like that. Otherwise, it's kind of odd to me. I can't imagine it would have some other reason for flashing that way. So that's pretty cool. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is this is one of the first maps in the game, right? Probably one of the first 2 or 3 maps, because you only have 4 units here. There are 4 starting units, and this is probably the map where Marth is introduced, and the game is like, oh look, you can engage here. We'll make it so you can engage right away, so you can kind of check it out. Similar to I think there's plenty of games that do the RPGs, but most recently it makes me think of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 3, which are that have tons of party gauges and different things, and then the tutorial will be here, we'll fill it up for you so you can give it a try, that kind of thing. So Seems to be the case there. All right, so that's enough for with this trailer. I wanted to check out one more here, which it doesn't really do anything for us that speak English or not Japanese, right? Because it's all in Japanese. But thankfully, it was translated by a user, a Twitter user, in the comments at Satsuma FS. Thanks for translating the dialogue, friend. Much appreciated. We learned that Vander is the 32nd in a long line of knights who protect the divine dragon. So, again, kind of affirming that he's old man who will be here to be kind of the guide for Alir as they wake up and remember things in the new world and stuff. So that's pretty cool. Got a little bit of flavor text for our friend Vander. Also like his design. We need more beards and mustaches in video games like this. Good stuff. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching, friends. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to comment your thoughts. What do you think of these things? Maybe something I missed, let me know. And of course, subscribe. Please help us reach 25,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I'd really appreciate it. Again, thanks. I'll catch you next time.